Hello, and welcome to this Daz Studio tutorial. In this video, we're going to add some fog to the scene that will help us add some distance and depth, as well as help with the lighting, because it will help dull some of the intensity, as well as help it blend. So first things first, here's our scene in iRay draw style before we get started here today. So keep that in your mind's eye for when we get to the end of the video here today. So let's start by taking this from the NVIDIA iRay draw style and change that to texture shaded. And now let's go find our light volume. So for that, we're going to go to our light presets. I believe this is a Kindred Arts product. There's the iRay light volume kit. We'll click on light volumes. And for this instance, we're going to use the plain room volume. There we go. And that brought in this little box here. So let's go to our perspective view. So you can see there's our box. This is our entire scene right here. Our camera, you can see it down here at the bottom, pointed in this direction. So let's grab our plain room volume, which he has a nice little note here saying scale and movement here. So that's nice to see. So we know what we're dealing with. We can now click on our posing tab. And as you can see, it's a pretty small box to begin with. So let's increase that scale by 1000%. There we go. That's a bit bigger. That should do us much better, but we can still increase that a bit further. So instead of just increasing the overall scale, let's do the individual axis. So let's take the x-axis here, and let's make that 350%. Let's go with that. Hit enter. There we go. So let's bring this all the way back here. I don't want my camera and my foreground character to be in the fog, so I'm going to bring this all the way back to this wall here. So we're starting out of the fog. It looks like we're going into it. That's pretty good. So now we'll change the Y scale because that's pretty low. I think we should even think about doing double that. So let's make our Y scale 200%. There we go. And let's make our Z scale because we have to go crosswise as well. Right? That's too narrow as it stands right now. So let's make our Z scale. Let's do that same as our X. Let's make that 350. And because we're facing this direction, we can actually bring this box over this way a bit here to make sure that we're getting nice deep volume. All right, so let's go back to our main camera shot. Let's turn our dust grid back on so we know exactly what we're looking at here. I had that off initially just because anytime you hover over the scene with a large item like the dust grid, the entire thing turns yellow. So I shut that off for the time being until we got to our render here. So with everything now turned back on, all of our eyes are on. We'll go over to our draw style and we'll select NVIDIA iRay and see how that comes out. All right, one short time lapse later, we have our iRay draw style coming out. So let's go back to our content library real quick. And let's drill down inside of the plain room volume because we want to get to the container. So here's a VDB container, and looks like Kindred Arts put another little note for us here saying materials go here, so that's nice. So what we'll do now is we have the container selected. Let's go to our color presets here, see what he has to offer. So if we click color presets, you'll see you have a default gray, blue, yellow, green, orange, red. So for our purposes, I think we'll just keep it as the gray, but if you have, I don't know, a cyberpunk scene or something along that line, one of these ones might be cool to add to that. So let's go to our strength preset instead. So strength, you can go anywhere from 100 or even 50 to 500. These are the options that he provides in the product itself. However, with that VDB container selected, you can also do that manually yourself if you chose to by going to the Surfaces tab. You'll find this density multiplier option right here. So it looks like the default setting is 100. So if I were to click on 200, you'll see that density multiplier now goes to 200, and so on and so forth, all the way up to even the 500 level. So let's have a look at this. Let's see what 500 looks like in our iRay draw style here. It's looking pretty darn thick. I think it's too thick for what we're looking for. So let's go to our density multiplier here and let's take away 0, and that'll bring us down to the 50 strength. See what 50 looks like. Looks like 50 might be a little bit light. Why don't we go 300 and see what that looks like. Yeah, it might be a happy medium here. So we can start getting some of the emissions dulled down a little bit, and also having them expand a little bit further, because the volume in the air is going to bring that light out further, because it's actually lighting up that volume as well, right? So now we have this explosion from the tank round. Looks a lot more intimidating with that volumetric fog around it. All right. So with that done, that brings us to the end of this one. I think that adding that extra layer of fog really pushes the planes back a little bit, which is nice. So they're not so prominent, and puts us even more into the thick of it with these soldiers on the ground. I really hope that you enjoy this tutorial, and I hope you can look forward to adding some volume to your scenes. Just remember, be creative and have fun.